Since our mind, intelligence, and senses have been given to us by the Lord, those instruments are actually purified. There is no. But to engage in the devotional service. Okay. Yeah, that's to be developed that argument. No? Suppose you're working in government office, you cannot take the car for your personal work. It should be used for the government work. Isn't it? But we use it for dropping relatives and bringing them from the railway station. We do everything. The same way, the senses have been given to us by Krishna, so use them only for Krishna service. So when they are purified, our mind, intelligence, senses have been given by the Lord, so they should be used for His purpose. Okay? No alternative but to engage in devotional service. Living in the imprivate difference due to the misapplication. But trapped because of misapplication of mind, intelligence, sense, and material activity. So nice. Okay? For all Atma Kritam Vipakam, whatever suffering is there, it is because of my own foolishness. Various kinds of body awarded as a result of living entities, actions, and they are created by material. Desires and deserves a particular kind of body. First desire, then deserve. Prabhupada said first deserve, then desire. Now, like you desire to be an engineer, but you deserve Papa Karma, then you become a caterpillar. You desire to be an engineer or Punya Karma, then you become a Brahma. So two things are consideration. What body you get next time, your desire and what you deserve. Very nice combination, Prabhupada. Desires and deserves a particular kind of body, it is given to you. Okay, so our problem is because of misapplication of mind, intelligence, senses, we are in a soup. But anyway, what has happened has happened. The same mind, intelligence, senses we can now use to come out of the daldal. We are stuck in a quicksand now. Now we can use our mind, intelligence, senses and come out. Yes, Nubur Mataji, continue. Any questions? Murti Mataji, Puja Vrinda Devi Dasi ji. She's not responding if you say Murti. You have to say a new name. Puja, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
You don't respond. No, now anybody says Murti.
No, I'm used to. Even I've still got used to this name.
Your husband also? You tell my full name now.
No.
He's happy. Your desire is fulfilled. Correct?
Yes, I'm very happy. Even I have to get used to this name.
Yeah. So it's very nicely Prabhupada saying desires and deserves. Because I'm just combining these two. You desire to be an engineer. If karma is not good, you become a caterpillar. You desire to be an engineer, but if karma is good, you become a Brahma. So, desire and deserve. Yes, Nupur Mataji.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, it is explained that.
Just give me 1 second.
Under the control of the superior authority of a living entity, is put within the semina of a male and injected into the womb of a particular female in order to develop a particular type of body. A living entity utilizes his senses, intelligence, and mind, etc., in a specific way of his own choosing, and thus develops a particular type of body within which he becomes engaged. In this way, the living entity becomes situated in different species of life, either in a demigod, human, or animal body, according to different situation and circumstances.
So we are engaged in this body. The soul doesn't have to be engaged. Soul is free. This body is also a kind of jail, trapped within this body. You know? The particular spirit has a demigod, have one body, and whatever body we are pushed inside. And we have to identify with this body, and our intelligence, everything is blocked because of the kind of body we are. Yes, any comments? Rohan?
Nice, sir.
Yeah, chalo, continue.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, here also it's significant that they say it's of his own choosing. He develops a particular type of body.
What is that?
Here it says in a specific way of his own choosing and thus develops a particular type of body within which he becomes engaged.
Of his own choosing.
So it says that
what it desires, basically what it desires.
Yeah.
No criteria they deserve also to fit it properly. Correct? If it doesn't deserve, just like you desire a car, you will get what basic amount of punya you have, you will get. You will get Maruti 800 or you will get some Jaguar depending upon your karma. You get a kind of car that is deserved. Huh?
Karmana Devanetrana, that sloka, that Bhagavatam, that says.
Isn't it, Shisha? Very nice word, no? Desire and desire combination. Right?
Yeah, Prabhu.
So you desire to have a car, but based on your karma, you will get the size of car. Karma is very good to get Jaguar. Karma is less, you have to roam around with Maruti 800. Or what is that? Nano. Or you have to roam with the Rohan. Rohan also made a car in his college. What happened to that car, Rohan? It's still around?
नहीं सर उधर रस्ट है सर पूरा
And they have already put it into dismantled it.
One car they put it on display sir पूरा college के सामने display.
Oh, that is not yours?
That is ours sir. Two cars.
Chalo. Still it is there. Chalo. Come once in a year, you go to oil it and paint it. They will not maintain it. I can tell you. Anna?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Continue, Padaji.
It is explained in the Vedic literatures that the living entities entrapped in different species of life are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. The Mayavadi philosophers mistake the living entity for the Paramatma, who is actually sitting within the living entity as a friend. Because the Paramatma, the localized aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the individual living entity are both within the body, a misunderstanding sometimes takes place that there is no difference between the two. But there is a definite difference between the individual soul and the super soul, and it is explained in the Varaha Purana as follows. The Supreme Lord has two kinds of parts and parcels. The living entity is called Vibhinna Amsa, and the Paramatma or the plenary expansion of the Supreme Lord is called Swamsha. The Swamsha plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is as powerful as the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. There is not even the slightest difference between the potency of the Supreme Person and that of his plenary expansion as Paramatma. But the Vibhinnamsha parts and parcels possess only a minute portion of the potencies of the Lord. The Narayana Pancharatra
Narayana Pancharatra. Narayana Pancharatra.
Pancharatra states that the living entities who are the marginal potencies of the Supreme Lord are undoubtedly of the same quality of spiritual existence as the Lord himself, but they are prone to be tinged with the material qualities. Because he is prone to be subjected to the influence of material qualities, the minute living entity is called a jiva. Sometimes the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also known as Shiva, the all auspicious. So the difference between Shiva and the Jivas is that all auspicious personality of Godhead is never affected by material qualities, whereas the minute portions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are prone to be affected by the qualities of material nature.
Okay, now let us understand this. Prabhupada is focusing on this, big confusion among the spiritualists. They think the soul and super soul is same. The Prabhupada is spending patiently, that's called mercy, patiently explaining to the Buddhas that is different. Mayavadis mistake the living entity for Paramatma is actually sitting in the living entity as a friend. Because the Paramatma, the localized source, what is mystery? There is both are residing for them. Vara Purana says no, here is Vibhinamsha and Swamsha. The Jivas are called Vibhinamsha. Swamsha means there is no difference. But Vibhinamsha is just part and parcel, like a spark of fire. I think Mahajapadas are not the same quality. Quality is same, but they're prone to be tinged material qualities. Lord is always auspicious because material qualities don't touch. But we are not in the same position. Yes.
Okay, continue, Prabhuji.
Yeah, suppose. Anything? Shisha, Rohan? We have still 165 pages to read in this chapter. Okay, can you see one more argument? Let's put. Everybody saw?
Hare Krishna
Yes,
Prabhu, just
Prabhuji.
one quick question. May I?
Did you see that? Did you say Samana Vrikshe? That's a very.
Saparna Sahija Samana Vaksha.
Shisha, what is the shloka?
Those Saparna Samana Vaksha. Forgot that shloka. Those Saparna Sahija Samana Vaksha.
Shisha is in a lot of tension today. His brother is not well. It's very painful, no, Shisha? And somebody
Yeah,
needs,
Prabhu.
huh?
That ventilator, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu. That phone is also coming. Yeah.
Philosophy we know, but when it comes really, it was very painful, Hannah.
Yeah, that is different actually. That one we know that philosophy and also that after that we reconcile, but immediately it is very difficult to do that one.
Just 1 second.
Those upon side,
Hmm?
Prabhu, that this thing, the difference between the ordinary living entities
Ah.
and a super soul, I understood. What about the Lord Shiva? Something has given by
No, no,
Lord
not,
Shiva.
not Shiva here. They just taken the word Shiva, not Lord Shiva.
He is.
Said sometime the Lord is called Shiva, all auspicious. Shiva, the meaning is all. See what happens, Mataji. All the names originally belong to Krishna. It's like we
Okay.
chant Hare Krishna mantra. Many
Yes.
times people say that Rama refers to Balarama, some people say Rama refers to Rama. Are Rama also refers to Krishna because all names finally belong to Krishna only, no? It's
Yes.
like say, Mataji, you say anybody you have a name, any good name. Finally, that belongs to Krishna only, no? All good qualities, he's a reservoir of all the qualities, isn't it? It is
Yes.
not
Yes.
that Rama gives happiness to Krishna. No. Anything
No.
Rama
No.
gives
No.
is included within Krishna. What is
Yes.
the Shisha?
yeah, Prabhu.
Anna?
Yeah.
So we say Hare refers to Radharani, then Rama refers to what? No. It both refers to Krishna only. Krishna and Rama
Krishna.
all refer to Krishna. They're two different names. Akashiti, one Lord giving attraction, Lord given happiness, Hannah, and liberating us from the middle world. Correct? So both the ways we are meditating on Krishna only. It's not a way chanting Hare Krishna. Sometimes when you're chanting Krishna, we're thinking of Krishna. Chanting Rama, we're thinking of Balarama, or you're thinking, no. So please think of Krishna only. You don't have to do all this thing. You understand, Shisha? The chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We are thinking about Krishna. And Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We're thinking about Lord Rama or Balaram or Parashuram. And Nupur, what do you do? How do you chant? What do you think about when you're chanting about Rama?
Me, Prabhuji?
Hmm.
I think about Krishna only.
Yes. Because
I mean,
all
it just I'm not actively thinking. It just comes into my mind that
correct.
Krishna.
Rama,
Sometimes Radharani.
you understood the point, no? You're praying to
Yes,
Radha,
yes, Prabhuji.
shelter of Krishna. Don't break that meditation. Don't break that meditation. Rama also is name of Krishna only. Anna, Rameti iti
Yes, Prabhuji.
Ramaha,
Yes.
that is Krishna only. He gives happiness. What is a Shisha?
Hmm.
Eh?
Yeah,
Krishna gives
yeah,
misery.
Prabhu.
Krishna gives misery when you go to him. He's the origin of Rama. So when Krishna descends in this world, all the incarnations go inside him because they're all coming from him only. Isn't it?
Yes,
Ramadi
Prabhu.
Mursa,
Yes.
War happens, Krishna lifts Sudarshana, Krishna doesn't lift Sudarshana, Vasudeva lifts. He doesn't lift. Correct? So that's why it is understood that all the incarnations of the Lord are within the Lord. So Rama name also belongs to Krishna. So we when you're chanting Hare Krishna Mother, just think of Krishna and pray to Radharani, as Supreme Mother. You are very merciful, I heard, and please give me shelter of Krishna. That's it. Correct? What else do you pray? Anna, she is Supreme Mother and she is most merciful. You request her, you give me shelter, get me shelter of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Through Radharani, you are going to Krishna, not directly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Gaudiya Vaishnavas go to Krishna through Radha. Anna, Shisha?
Yeah, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu.
Anna, we go to Krishna through Radha, not directly. Correct?
Yeah, with the Tadya.
इस प्रभित को कितना कैसा हुआ आज? नहीं गीता मजा आया और कितना वो हुंडी भी किया कितना ज्यादा है
हरी बोल
अरे किधर है लोग उनको दर्शन कर लो वो किधर है हमारे प्रभु जी चले गए अच्छा ठीक चलो ये प्रभित को देने का हाँ प्रभित को देने का ठीक है इसमें से 3, 4 कल 3 है ना 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 5 क्लास है Hare Krishna. So sorry for some interruption. Okay, so Jivas. So this is clear. So even Shiva name now, Puja Vrinda Devi
Yes.
Dasi Mataji
Yes.
said that Shiva is why Shiva has come here. No, Shiva also is the name of Krishna only. You understand?
Okay.
Krishna doesn't Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita, I am Shiva? He
Yes,
says,
yes,
so he's
yes.
saying no, anyway he's saying I am Shiva. That means that is inclusive. See, Krishna can say, like more, you can look at your body and you can say this is me. But the
Yes.
finger cannot look at the body and say that I am complete. No.
Figure.
But
Yes.
you can look at the body and say this is me only. Suppose a photograph is taken of the hand, you say yeah that's me. Correct? You can say like that. So
Yes.
Supreme Lord can look at any of his entities and claim to be him. And that's why Krishna says, I am the tiger, I am the mountain, because any part of his energy or his thing, it is him only. Isn't it, Shisha?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Makes
Yeah,
sense? Correct?
yeah, yeah.
He is not the Shiva only. Rudraram Shankaras Chasmi Vittesho Yaktas Rakshasham. ठीक है?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So Krishna has said, I am Shiva. So how can we say now, no? ठीक है? All the Rudras and Shiva. There is Mataji. Evidence has come fatafat. I am Shiva. Correct?
Yes.
The person is also Shiva. All auspicious.
Yeah, among the demigods, I'm the Shiva.
Hey, Rohan. Rohan.
Sir.
And that your Prabhuji is there, no? I was talking to him today and I said, I want 10 more Russian devotees like you.
Yes.
So he has made an ad and put in his profile. Go to his profile in Facebook, you will see. You have to translate, he written in Russian. Oh,
Okay, sir.
very nice temple, all of you come. He just went with camera with the Sai and took photographs. Simply here and there photographs. So see,
Yes.
such a nice devotees, you come, blah, 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 something.
Yes.
He's invited. So already some friends called him up.
एक्चुअली सर जब मैं उनको ड्रॉप करने गया था वो बोले कि मुझे आई वांट टू स्टे इन मैंगलोर इटसेल्फ बोले
when you left him from there.
Yes sir
Yeah, Krishna's grace, I do not know.
They went back, Prabhu?
No, they who?
Those Russians?
No, one is still with us. 2 or 3 are there with us.
Okay.
Shisha. Anyway,
Yeah.
now you're going through some tension. After that, encourage the boys. Take it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you should not put any, tell your wife not to put any chili.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know how American food, generally,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of food we eat when we are sick.
Ganji.
All bland.
Their husband, when people are there, no, they had made, I had gone to NITK college. So I served them. The one boy said, sir, I eat this food. When my mother gives me this food and I'm sick. No chili, no spice, less salt.
yes.
No, still it is tasty. No problem. Yes, continue.
The super soul within the body of a particular living entity.
Although
Although a plenary portion of the Lord is worshipable by the individual living entity. Great sages have therefore concluded that the process of meditation is designed so that the individual living entity may concentrate his attention on the lotus feet of the super soul form Vishnu. That is the real form of samadhi. The living entity cannot become liberated from material entanglement by his own effort. He must therefore take to devotional service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, or the super soul within himself. Sridhara Swami, the great commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam, has composed a nice verse in this regard, the purport of which is as follows. My dear Lord, I am eternally your part and parcel, but I have been entrapped by the material potencies which are also an emanation from you. As the cause of all causes, you have entered my body as a super soul, and I have the prerogative to enjoy the supreme blissful life of knowledge along with you. Therefore, my dear Lord, please order me to render you loving service so that I can again be brought to my original position of transcendental bliss.
what a prayer, what a prayer, what a prayer. Huh? Such a sweet prayer. This is from Sridhar Swami.
Sridhara Swami.
Okay. One of the original commentators. I think he comes in this Sampradaya. This Sampradaya. There's a Rudra Sampradaya. Shiva. No, we can't hear you. I think Rudra, no? You are muted, Shisha.
Yeah, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu. Actually, Sridhar Swami actually is a Advaita this one Acharya actually, but he commented in Vaishnava this one actually.
He is a
Actually, Advaita philosopher actually as such. Actually, I had then later he become actually he is a true Vaishnava actually. He commented in Vaishnava this one.
okay.
Actually, he came in a Advaita this Mayavad Parampara. Advaita Parampara.
Advaita school, but recognized by Vaishnavas.
Vaishnavas, yeah, yes.
Okay, that's why Chaitanya Babu became angry when Vallabha said, "Why commentary is better than Sridhara?"
Yeah.
Respected by the Vaishnavas. Yeah. Certified Mahaprabhu himself. Okay. My dear Lord, I am your eternal part and parcel and tribe metal body which I emanation from as a cause of cause of you entered a body super soul. What a prayer. I am entrapped with the metal energy which is emanation from you. And you have entered a body also as a super soul. And I am privileged to enjoy supreme blissful life of knowledge with you. I have that privilege. Please order me to enter some service so that I can be brought to an position of transcendental bliss. Chalo. Yes, we should, write it and paste it in our room. Keep reading. Please order me to render some loving service to you so that I can be brought to my original position of transcendence. So loving service means it is voluntarily done. There is no force. Voluntarily. When you chant, nobody is watching you, still you're getting up and chanting. It is voluntary.
Yes.
Correct? You understand?
Yes.
The voluntarily done. That's love. Love means voluntarily. That the loving so I can be brought to my original position of transcendental bliss. It's very nice. Continue, Mataji.
Puji, next, I think. Oh, next page, yes.
Okay. Chalo hai Shisha. Sridhar Swami pe comment aa gaya. Sridhar Swami was brought up in a Maharashtrian Brahmana family in the province of Gujarat. His guru was Paramananda or Rudra Vaishnava Sampradaya, the district succession of Acharya Vishnu Swami. Shisha. Originally, he must be Mayavada. Because I remember he is a Rudra Sampradaya, this I remember. But originally, influenced by
he was born in Odisha, actually in Kshiraturu Gopinath. From there, actually, near that area, as this one. Then after that, he became Vaishnava. Actually, in Rudra Sampradaya. That may be actually, yeah. He come, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Chalo. Point is that originally he was in Mayavada touch and later became a Vaishnava. Correct?
Vaishnava, yeah.
Celebrated Vaishnava.
Celebrated Vaishnava, yeah.
Continue.
Prabhuji, the next page.
Oh, yeah, this is.
Yes.
Now, where we have read this? We read this now. Please, you order me to render loving service so that I can again be brought to my original position of transcendental bliss. Okay, yes.
Oh, I'm still on the previous page. Oh, okay.
Okay, no, okay. Cannot be freed. No, yes, you have said that. We cannot be freed by our own effort. You read this one.
Yeah.
Personality, understand?
Yes.
Repetition. Yeah, I know it's a repetition. This line was there previously also. You cannot be freed by your own effort. Anna? Living entity cannot become liberated mentally. This line you saw again, correct? The living entity cannot become liberated by entanglement by your own effort. Therefore, you have to pray. Isha? Otherwise, what is bhajana? Why you are praying? Because you cannot believe. You have to ask Krishna to pull the rope. You can hold the rope. Guru is the rope. You can hold the rope, but Krishna has to pull. And Krishna is playing flute, is busy. Then you have to beg, please Krishna, lift me out. You cannot lift yourself out of this place. Krishna has to lift you. Prabhupada, I was saying, Prabhupada said, even before you pray, Krishna is thinking of saving you. Don't think that after you pray, Krishna is always endeavoring to take you out of this metal world. Today we were reading in some other area this. Krishna is always endeavoring. It's not that after you pray, Krishna think what to do about you. It's always endeavoring. And he's never lazy in that. Never lazy to take it. Never lazy. But still we show a sincerity to come back to his lotus feet by. Yes. And on your own, you cannot come out. Because just like you are in a jail, you cannot come out of the jail on your own. The king has to leave you. Devi Esha Kudumai Mamaya So you
Absolutely.
cannot come out of the material energy by your own effort. Mama eve prapadanti. When Krishna so wishes, you can come out. So this is nice philosophy, at least we can understand. Okay, so this has come again, great personalities. Yes, Nupur Mataji.
Prabhuji, I'm not able to see the page. I don't know
Great
why.
personality.
Maybe I have.
Chalo, what I'll do,
Yeah, I'm.
I'll disconnect it
Yes.
again. Okay. Now you can see
Yeah,
me.
and then
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And now I'll come back to the page again. Great personalities.
Now I can see. Yeah. Great personalities understand that a living entity entangled in this material world cannot become freed by his own efforts. With firm faith and devotion, such great personalities engage themselves in rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. That is the Vedic of the personified Vedas. The personified Vedas continued, Dear Lord, it is very difficult to achieve perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. Your Lordship is so kind to have to the fallen souls that you appear in different incarnations and execute different activities. You
Okay,
appear even
just
as
wait, just wait, just wait. समझ नहीं आया. With full faith and devotion, to personally engage themselves rendering transcendent loving service of the Lord. Okay, because that's the only way. Okay, na? Again he says, no, can we let me be order? Give me uh, rendering transcendent loving service. That's a verdict of the personified. Full faith and devotion, you should, because only Krishna can save you. Shisha, what is the meditation here? On your own effort, why proper the repeating 2 times? Yes, Rohan, Nupur, Murti Mataji, Puja Vrinda Devidasi ji, बताओ भाई, why Prabhupada is emphasizing 2 times here that you cannot be liberated from material world by your own effort. What is the meditation?
because we are jivas and we still because we are though we are part and parcels but we are still the jiva quality, so we still have material we are affected by material nature. That's
Sir,
why we have to
We
surrender
are
to Shiva.
Okay,
we are conditioned souls.
so why can't you go back to Godhead? Walk and go back to Godhead. What's the difficulty?
We have to we have to take the shelter of a guru.
Hmm.
Then, according to his instructions, we follow. We can go back.
Yes, Nupur Mataji.
we cannot
uh,
uh, we cannot
because
get
we are
liberated.
we are conditioned by the material. Yes, sorry.
See, a madman, physician should not take medicine for himself. Even a doctor is not allowed to prescribe medicine for himself when he's sick. Isn't it, Shisha?
Yes.
Isn't that the etiquette?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
rule, doctor should not prescribe medicine to himself. Hai na? So
Yeah.
madman cannot figure out how to come out of the madness because he's mad. He's thinking from the mad brain only how to come out. Doesn't make sense, no?
Yeah.
What do you say? So how can we, being conditioned, come out of the conditioning? Not possible. If our hands are tied, we cannot untie ourselves. We have to go to somebody whose hands are not tied. He can untie us. Okay? And Krishna is always liberated. Anna? Krishna is always independent and liberated from this world. And he wants to make us also liberated from the entanglement of Maya. He's always untouched by the influence of Maya. He wants to also untie us. Go to him, he'll untie. Correct? And but we are tied up because of our foolishness only. Okay? The transcendent loving service of the Lord, we come to the original nature and Krishna unties us. Okay. Okay, this is clear. No, madman should not for himself. है ना? He cannot come out of madness from his mad brain. His mad brain will give mad advices only. ठीक है ना? He has to hear to Guru who are liberated. Then he will come out. Chalo, continue, Mataji.
The personified Vedas continue, Dear Lord, it is very difficult to achieve perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. Your Lordship is so kind to the fallen souls that you appear in different incarnations and execute different activities. You appear even as A historical personality of this material world and your pastimes are very nicely described in the Vedic literatures. Such pastimes are as attractive as the ocean of transcendental bliss. People in general have a natural inclination to read narrations in which ordinary jivas are glorified. But when they become attracted by the Vedic literatures which delineate your eternal pastimes, they actually dip into the ocean of transcendental bliss. As a fatigued man feels refreshed by dipping into the reservoir of water, so the conditioned soul who is very much disgusted with material activities becomes refreshed and forgets all the fatigue of material activities by, by simply by dipping into the transcendental ocean of your pastimes. And eventually he merges in the ocean of transcendental bliss. The most intelligent devotees therefore do not take to any means of self-realization except devotional service.
And
And constant engagement in the 9 different processes of devotional life, especially hearing and chanting. When continue,
चलो इतना समझ लेते हैं.
yes.
Because that was very nice. So kind, you appear in different incarnations. What is the way? Because of that activity they created in the metal world. And your pastimes are so transcendental, and it's like an ocean. The bliss. Your pastimes are so beautiful. Okay? And people hear some katha. But why? When they hear your katha, they actually dip in the ocean of transcendental bliss. That's what you're doing now. We have a tendency to hear. If you're not hearing Krishna book, we'll go to newspaper and read what this person did, what that person did, what happened in England, got Brexit or not, what Trump said, what this person said. Right? But by that, using an opportunity, Krishna, together, we are dipping in the ocean of transcendental bliss. To the degree we have the bliss. Why there is sound coming? Okay. As a fatigued man feels refreshed by dipping into the rivers or reservoir of water, so the conditioned soul is very disgusted with metal. And we are so boring with newspaper. The idiot said that, tomorrow he says that. So boring. But when we hear about Krishna, we become refreshed and forget all fatigue of material activity, simply dipping into the ocean of transfer. Very nicely explained. Eventually merge in the ocean of transcendental bliss. The most intelligent devotee, therefore, do not take any self-realization except devotional service and constant 9 different types of devotional service, especially hearing and chanting. And mukhya among all are hearing and chanting. Yes, continue, Mother.
Your transcendent when hearing and chanting about your transcendental pastimes, your devotees do not care even for the transcendental bliss derived from liberation or from merging into the existence of the Supreme. Such devotees are not interested even in so-called liberation, and certainly they have no interest in material activities for elevation to heavenly planets for sense gratification. Pure devotees seek only the association of Paramhamsas, or great liberated devotees, so that they can continuously hear and chant about your glories. For this purpose, the pure devotees are prepared to sacrifice all comforts of life and even giving up material comforts of family life and so called society, friendship, and love. Those who have tasted the nectar of devotion by relishing the transcendental vibration of chanting your glories, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, do not care for any other spiritual bliss for the material or for material comforts which appear to the pure devotee to be less important than a straw in the street.
Okay. Taste of the nectar of devotion, relishing the transcendental vibration of the chanting. I do not care for any spiritual bliss or material comfort. I appear to the pure devotee the less important than the straw and the street. So the merging into Brahman or enjoying a pleasure like the Devatas, okay? The devotee do not care for merging, a so-called liberation. They're not interested in Devata. Kaivalyam Narakayate Dashpura Akash Pushpayate Durdan Indre Kala Sarva Potakadam Sayate Yamashloka. Okay? So any material comfort is like a straw in the street, but that we have to advance. It's not easy. And when you advance in happiness of Krishna consciousness, then material pleasures are, we have very pessimistic attitude. Somebody comes to you, the latest movie has come. What is the nonsense? You're not interested. But it's like a straw in the street. But heart is not pure. Yeah, थोड़ा trailer तो देख लेता हूँ. है ना रोहन?
Yes.
हाँ?
Correct.
मूवी नहीं देखूंगा, ट्रेलर खाली ट्रेलर देखूंगा. हाँ चलो, personified Vedas continue. Yes.
The personified Vedas continued, Dear Lord, when a person is able to purify his mind, senses, and intelligence by engaging himself in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, his mind becomes his friend. Otherwise, his mind is always his enemy. When the mind is engaged in devotional service of the Lord, it becomes the intimate friend of the living entity because the mind can then think of the Supreme Lord always. Your Lordship is eternally dear to the living entity. So when the mind is engaged in the thought of you, one immediately feels the great satisfaction for which he has been hankering life after life. When one's mind is thus fixed on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one does not take to any kind of inferior worship or inferior process of self realization. By attempting to worship a demigod or by taking to any other process of self realization, the living entity becomes a victim of cycle of birth and death, and no one can estimate how much the living entity becomes degraded by entering the abominable species of life such as cats and dogs.
Okay, let us understand this. Purified by engaging devotional service, because mind becomes his friend. Otherwise, mind is always enemy. Mind is engaged in devotional service, it becomes intimate from the living entity. Mind cannot think of the Supreme Personality, Godhead. Supreme Lord always. The Lordship is eternally dear to the living entity. So, mind is a friend or enemy, Nupur?
Sometimes friend when I think of Krishna,
Ah?
otherwise, most of the time, enemy.
Yes, Puja
When
Vrinda,
I think of
your
yes,
mind
when
is
I
friend
think of
or enemy?
Yes, Prabhu.
Your mind is friend or enemy?
See, it depends on us to make either enemy or a friend. Huh? Nowadays, I think he is a friend of mine.
Rohan is a friend or enemy?
नहीं सर, पक्का enemy सर.
Pakka enemy. See, so nice.
Should not let him become enemy. That's all.
Simply harass you.
सर अभी me and my mind का play याद आ गया सर.
Huh?
Me and my mind drama याद आ गया सर.
And that drama, yeah, they did that. Your Lordship is eternally due to the living entity, so that the mind engage in thought of you, you immediately feel the great satisfaction for which has been hankering life after life. Okay? And thought of you. So when we actually come to Krishna consciousness, we feel the satisfaction which are hankering life after life. When one mind is thus fixed on the lotus of the Supreme Personality, one does not take to any kind of inferior worship or inferior process of self-realization. By attempting to worship a demigod or by taking on the process of self-realization, living entity becomes a victim of the cycle of birth and death. Okay? By worshipping a demigod or taking any other process of self-realization. Okay? Attempt to worship a demigod. Okay? Victim of cycle. That not help you. All these dramas will not help you. Okay? And no one can understand how a living entity can become degraded. He can even go to the species of cats and dogs. So to save you from the cycle of birth and death, no devata, nothing can help you. You have to engage in the loving devotion service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, and I think this is the last paragraph. Rohan, you want to read last paragraph of the day?
Yes sir. She Narottama Das Thakur has sung that persons who do not take the devotional service of the Lord but are attached to the process of philosophical speculation and fruitive
Are attracted.
are attracted to the process of philosophical speculation and fruitive activities bring the poisonous result of such actions. Such persons are forced to take birth in different species of life and are forced to adopt obnoxious practices like meat eating and intoxication. Materialistic persons generally worship the transient material body and forget the welfare of the spiritual soul within the body. Some take shelter of materialistic science to improve bodily comforts, and some take to the worship of demigods in order to be promoted to the heavenly planets. Their goal in life is to make the material body comfortable while forgetting the interest of the spiritual soul. Such persons are described in Vedic literature as suicidal because attachment for the material body and its comforts forces the living entity to wander through the process of birth and death perpetually and suffer the material pangs as a matter of course. The human form of life. the chance for one to understand his position, and the most intelligent person takes to devotional service just to engage his mind, senses, and body in the service of the Lord without devotion.
Okay, so let us understand this. So, what is the shloka here? Shisha knows the shloka. Pot or poison? Karmakanda, Jnanakanda, Kevala Vishera Bhanda. That's the statement of Narottam Das Thakur. Mostly people, Karmakanda means of fruitive activities,
Yes.
Punya Papa, and philosophical speculation, Jnanakanda. Okay? People are generally attracted by both within them. Okay? And there's a Brahmana also attract them to this. I'll do this yajna for you. Some puja, all your karma will be washed away. Hai? Or some
Yes, yes. Most of them do that.
and some philosophical speculation. Correct? People do that. Speak something Sankhya. And he say the poison is the result of social activities. Person are forced to take birth in different species of life and forced to adopt obnoxious processes like meat eating and intoxication. Forced to adopt. Okay? Obnoxious practices like meat eating and intoxication. Okay. Karma kanda, jnana kanda. To get different species of life. And drinking pots of poison. Forced to take birth into and you have to do all this thing. Materialists people generally worship the transcendental body and forget the welfare of the spirit soul within the body. Some take to the shelter of material science to improve bodily comfort, and some worship Devatas. But whole focus proper says bodily comfort, bodily comfort, bodily comfort, either material science or Devata worship, or these fruity workers. The people are bodily conscious only. They say you do this, you do that puja, you'll be very happy, your health will be okay, blah, blah, blah. People become very happy. Their goal of life is to make material body comfortable while forgetting the interest of the spirit soul. So you'll become rich without working again, become rich. People are very happy. You have to study 4 years engineering. Instead of that, give this pujari some money and I'll become very rich. So people think, okay, I can escape so much hard work. Such persons are described in the Vedic literature as suicidal, such persons. Why? Because attached in the metal body and its comfort, forceful living in it to wander throughout the process of birth and death, perpetually suffer the metal planet. So attached to the metal body and its comfort, what happens? You are forced to take birth again in the world and suffer. You may think I'm going to enjoy and this way, that way, but you're forced to take birth again. So what's the problem? Human life with a chance to understand his position. Most intelligent take to divorce service, engage his mind, senses and body in the service of the Lord without deviation. Okay. 10:27. Yes, Mataji. Shisha, we have Nitin, Rohan. We stop here today?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prabhu.
10:30. Let us keep 10:30 as the time, no? Otherwise, otherwise no end there.
बहुत deep chapter है sir, अच्छा chapter.
Huh?
But it's a
बहुत
very nice
deep
chapter,
chapter
Prabhu.
है sir. बहुत deep और अच्छा chapter.
Very
Yes,
nice chapter.
Prabhu.
Like whole Krishna book is here.
Yeah, whole, whole philosophy Krishna. Yeah.
The personified Vedas, Baba, is not small. Personified Vedas, the whole Veda Sara is there in this. Eh?
Yeah, Prabhu, all everything.
Actually, the picture is this, which I show. Let us meditate on the picture. I sent to you this picture today. Let me meditate on this picture. Let understand this picture. Look at this picture. Here. Now this is personified Vedas. Shisha? Here are the personified Vedas, no?
Yeah, Prabhu.
So who are the
Understanding.
personalities? These are the personalities who reside in the Janaloka, Tapaloka. Huh?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Huh?
Yeah, Prabhu.
What do you feel? Hana?
Yeah, Prabhu.
They're all in pure knowledge. You see how beautiful they're looking.
Yeah.
Person, offering so peacefully wonderful prayers to the Lord, full of knowledge. And
Yeah.
Lakshmi is massaging the feet, and Krishna is hearing those prayers. Anna?
Yeah.
Narayana is hearing those prayers, personified Veda. Hare Krishna.